My name's Pete Woods, you're watching Hexham TV. Who are you?
Hi Pete, my name's Honey Corbett.
Tell me a little bit about what you're doing.
Well, I've just launched the Hexham Poetry Competition for the region. It's a competition open to adults and mainly children as well, have a free entry to it, with lots of prizes just to encourage people to get writing, really.
So is this something you've done before, or is this a completely new avenue for you?
The competition is a new avenue. I've been writing poetry since forever, really, since a very young age. I stopped during motherhood, obviously got a bit busy and had no time. Recently restarted studying an English literature and poetry degree. And it just felt like the right time with everything going on in Hexham, the book festival, the great library provisions, that Hexham could support a really good poetry competition.
So you say it's for children and adults. Are there different categories?
There's an adult category which is specifically for over 18s to enter. That's a paid-for category at quite reasonable prices to enter for a poetry competition. And there's obviously promotion with that, prizes, scaled prizes for first, second and third, and commended poetry that whilst didn't win a prize does stand out as really very good. And then the young children's prizes have been separated into, I think it's over 14s and under 14s, because there can be quite a difference in ability, just to make sure that younger poets also get recognition and encouraged.
And are you working with the local schools and the local library?
I've been lucky enough to have some great support, actually. The local schools, Corbridge, Sealfirst, are really, really supportive and interested. I think it's a really nice in for boys and girls to get writing, and to, I think kids, we all need a little bit of motivation and maybe a prize sometimes makes it work. And the libraries, the council have been really supportive with helping with launches, a little bit of paperwork and advertising just to get the word out there. So yeah, it's been really great feedback from everyone.
And it's the Hexham Poetry Competition, but if someone lived outside of Hexham, would they be okay to take part? Or?
It is. It's an international competition, so anyone can enter. Obviously, for the under 18s, my kind of heart wishes that lots of young local children would enter and ultimately win. I don't judge. I've just appointed a judge, Caitlin Kendall, who's from Hayden Bridge. She's just getting her first pamphlet published. She's attended Words on the Wall locally since it began, so she's got a really good feel for what the poetry competition is about and what would be a winner. So I'm quite excited to get her on board too.
And is there any requirement on the length of the poet?
The poem itself just has to be less than 50 lines, and that's just for promotion and publication. So anything under 50 lines is acceptable.
And what inspires you about poetry? Why are you interested in poetry?
I think I've always been a little bit bookish. I've always had my head lost in books and stories. Poetry is just a beautiful expression of words, and you can say so much in such a short little, 10 lines, and you can really have impacted somebody. And I think it's just always been with me. I think locally, as I was reading about local poets, obviously the Gibsons came up, and I realised that there is actually an Elizabeth Gibson, and she is fairly accomplished. She's a feminist poet. She's got a lot to say for herself. A lot of it is still relevant, and that again inspired me and tied in beautifully with what Hexham is in the past and hopefully the future too.
If people want to find out further information about the Hexham Poetry Competition, where should they go?
There's a dedicated website, which is www.hexhampoetry.com, and that's got rules, information on Elizabeth Gibson, how to enter, anything you would need is there, and obviously a contact email address should you have any questions. I would like to add, if I can, that there is free entry. Anybody who needs or has a great poem, wants to enter, can do it for free.
That's great, and it's wonderful to have people expressing themselves in so many different ways, and poetry is such an expressive...
And you get such varied things from everybody. We're all so different. You can get such different words. Yeah. And there is no theme, so anybody can, anything goes, really.
Wow.
Yeah, it's exciting.
So it's really exciting to have Hexham's first poetry competition.
Yes, really.
Is there a cut-off date?
The cut-off date is the 31st of May. and that's the final date to get any entries in or make any contact to get your entry in. And then after that, there's a month for Caitlin to judge. She will make commentary on certain poems, the winners, obviously any commended, and that will then be published and the winners contacted. And they'll probably get a little bit of fanfare from us linked through with local libraries just to get the word out that we've had a successful first year's run at it.
And will there be a chance for some of the poets to perform their winning poetry?
It is something we're looking at the minute to actually perform. Obviously, being international, it does depend who wins, but hopefully the children locally will get some kind of performance or acknowledgement to be a bit more involved with not just writing it, but performing it and receiving prizes.
Fabulous. Hon, thank you very much for talking to Hexham TV about the Hexham Poetry Competition.
That's great, thank you.